learn more about the topic electric flux. Previously also I have explained the topic. In my previous video I have explained the certain concepts of electric flux. Here I have told you the analogy of flux, how to relate this with the path of the light. Next I have explained the theoretical derivation of the electric flux. Next I have told you the certain conditions of the maximum and minimum flux. Let us watch the first the given surface area in a perpendicular direction, then those field lines will be called as the electric flux. Then those will be called as the flux passing through the given surface area. Here you can see that these field lines are crossing this given surface area in a perpendicular direction. So all the field lines will be perpendicular direction and the area vector is also pointing in a perpendicular direction. So they both become parallel. That is, angle between area vector and the field lines become. So there what we have seen, conditions of maximum and minimum flux. Now let's learn more about the electric flux. Certain important key points now we will be concentrating. Now what are the key points? There are the certain factors on which the flux depends, amount of the flux depends. What are they? First is the area. How it depends on area we will be learning later on. Next is the rotation of area, that if the plane is rotated at some angle, what will be the value of the flux, or the how the amount of the flux will be varying. Next, last factor on which the electric flux depends is the density of the electric fields. If they are denser, what will be the flux, and if they are rarer, what will be the flux. So let us learn all the key points in detail. So the first is we are dealing with the larger the area, the more field lines will pass through it, and hence greater is the flux. Let us analyze this situation. So here what we are having, this is the given area, surface area, and these are the electric field lines that are crossing the flux. If we increase or decrease the given area, let us see what will be the effect on the flux. So here we are first decreasing the area. So what we are finding, the flux associated is lesser. Now if we increase the area, more the field lines are crossing, so more will be the flux associated with it. I think from this figure it will be clear, larger the area, larger will be the electric field lines crossing, so they will be contributing towards the more flux. Lesser the area, less field line, so lesser will be the flux. Now next is the second key point. What is the second key point? It is the amount, that is the plane is rotated at certain angle. So at one particular angle, none line will pass through it and there will be no flux. So let us analyze this situation. Here what we are noticing, this time we will not change the area of this given figure. Instead we will rotate this. We will change the area of that is planar rotation, area of rotation, that is how it is rotated in the space. Let us observe this. If it is at this particular stage, no field line will be crossing. Now if it is inclined perpendicular to the field line, all the field lines will be crossing the given area. That is how on the plane of rotation the amount of electric field lines crossing the area depends, and hence the flux associated also depends on the area of rotation of the figure. So whenever the plane is perpendicular to the given field lines, maximum will be the flux. If the area is aligned along the field lines, if the plane is aligned with the field lines, no field line will be passing, none field will be passing, and there will be no flux associated with it. Now the third factor is stronger the field line. That means denser the field lines, the closer the field lines are, greater will be the flux. Here we will not be changing the orientation, neither we will be changing the area of the figure, but this time they will be changing the field lines. Let us observe this here. This time, now let us see here that field lines are getting rarer, that is less field line will be crossing. Now the field lines are getting denser, so more field lines will be crossing the given surface area. Here again, more the field lines, denser the field line, more is the flux, rarer are the field lines, less will be the flux. So this is how the flux depends on these certain factors. Now next, let us have certain knowledge test how to deal with such problems of the electric flux. Now the very first is the general case is that why the flux through a closed spherical surface is independent of the radius of the surface. It is the most obvious question that is being asked in the exam, that is the flux is independent of the surface area, the chosen surface area. Let us depict one situation. If we have a plus q charge present in a space and it is enclosed by different surface areas. First is a spherical surface of radius r1. Next we are having another spherical surface of radius r2. Or let us suppose the same charge q is enclosed by a sphere of radius r, and the same charge is enclosed by another sphere of radius having the 2r. So let us see what will be the flux crossing these surface areas will depend. So these the flux crossing this surface area will be independent of the radius of the. It doesn't mean if more is the radius of the given surface area, more will be the flux. That is the misconception that generally students develop, that it depends on the surface area. If we increase the surface area, flux will increase. It is not the case. The strategy that we have to follow it is that we have to look at the electric field lines. Now we know that by the definition of the flux, the electric flux just depends on the field lines. And we know that these field lines are the characteristics of the source charge. So here, whether we are dealing with this first figure or whether we are dealing with this second figure, in both the figure, if same amount of the charge Q is enclosed, here what we notice, same amount of charge Q is enclosed, that means the electric field lines will remain the same in both the figures, and those same electric field lines will be crossing the surface area of radius R1 as well as the surface area of radius R2. It hardly gets affected by the presence of the surface area, whether it is more or a lesser one. So here what we notice is that every field line from Q that pierces the surface at radius R1 also pierces the surface at R2. That means whatever field lines are crossing the R1, they will cross the R2, and these field lines only contribute towards the flux. So the flux associated with R1 and R2 will remain the same. So the flux through a closed spherical surface is independent of the radius chosen here. So what we are noticing, the net number of electric field lines. So this will be the most probable answer that you have to write for this particular question. The net number of field lines passing through the two surfaces from inside to outside direction is equal, and hence the flux will remain the same. It hardly depends on the amount of the surface area. Similarly, in this figure, what we are noticing, flux through the spherical surface of radii r and 2r enclosing a charge q are equal. That is, it is independent of the size of the surface. So whatever the field lines will pass this dA surface will also, if we increase the surface area, here in this figure we are noticing this now, we have increased the surface area to 4 times of the previous case, but the field lines will remain the same. Field lines have not been quadrupled, that is, they are not being increased. So the flux will remain the same whether we increase 10 times or 4 times or 16 times the area. It is independent of the radius of the given surface. Now, next type of the question, if no charges are included within a closed surface, then the electric flux through it must be the zero. This is another conceptual type of question. If no charge is present within the closed surface, then the flux must be the zero. Now let us depict this situation. Here what we are noticing is that if plus q charge is situated in a space and we are having an enclosed surface area as at some distance from it, whatever this source charge q will be emerging its own field lines in the space, and they will be crossing the given surface area. So here what we are noticing, whatever field lines are crossing the given surface area dA1, they are passing out from the dA2 also. That is, a typical field line that enters the surface at dA1 leaves at dA2. Every line that enters the surface must also leave that surface. Hence, net flow of the field lines into or out of the surface is 0. So whatever field lines are entering one particular area of the given area element, the same field is and leaving the another surface area element of the given surface area. So whatever is entering, whatever number of field lines are entering, the same number are escaping the given surface area, and hence these will contribute towards the zero flux situation. So what is the condition of zero flux situation? Where the source of charge is situated outside the given surface area. Now there is another situation if the charge is enclosed within the surface area, but this time we are having two equal and opposite charges. That is, if we have the charges of equal and opposite sign are included inside the closed surface, the total charge included is 0. And in terms of the electric field lines, what we will depict, this plus charge, positive charge, whatever field lines it will be sending out of the surface, the same electric field lines will be entering due to the negative charge because it is of the same magnitude. So again here the situation is, if the same magnitude or two equal and opposite charges are enclosed in a surface, the electric flux associated with the surface will be the 0. That is the net concluding point. In these two situations, the net flux will be the 0. Now, next we will be dealing with the electric flux with the closed surface. Now we will deal with the particular situation here. What will be the magnitude or how the flux will be varying for a closed surface. Now here we know that if we are having a closed surface, earlier also I have told you that it cannot be shown by a single area element, although the field lines are crossing through a closed surface in this particular direction. So the direction of field line is fixed. but the different area elements out of this closed figure we have to take. So we have taken one area element, first element, which is represented by this figure, first one. We have taken another area element, second, which is represented by this figure, and we have taken a third area element which is represented here. What we are noticing is that for a closed surface, by convention, the area vectors are perpendicular to the surface at each point and they are pointing outward. So for every area element, the surface area element, that is surface area vector, is pointing in different directions, but the electric field will remain the same for all the planar surfaces. That is how we have to divide this entire closed surface into different area elements. Now let us see through each area element how the flux will be associated with each of them. So for the case 1, here what we are having in the case 1, so it is the enlarged figure. In case 1, what we are noticing, we have taken this figure. So in this, if we will draw the, concentrate on the field lines, we are noticing the electric field is pointing along, suppose this is the x-axis. So if electric field line is passing along the x-axis, here we have taken the positive x-axis. So if we will draw one perpendicular here, so what we will notice is that the area vector delta A1. So area vector, if we will point, it will be pointing in the xy plane. So here this, you have to keep this in mind. The direction of the area vector will be in somewhere in the xy plane, although angle is not known, but let us suppose theta is the angle which with the electric field vector and the area vector makes with each other. Okay, so what we are having, theta is the angle between the electric field and the area vector. So this time theta will be less than the 90 degree, and if we will substitute, if we will go for the formula for the electric flux, we know that for an open surface it is E dot of dA, where they are the vectors, and if we will open this dot product, we will get E dA, and here this time we will get cos theta. And value of theta for angles less than 90 degree is always be a positive. So in such a situation where theta is 90 degree, the flux will be the positive quantity. That means when the field lines are crossing the surface from inside to the outside, here the field lines are crossing surface from inside to the outside. Here we are noticing they are pointing from inside to the outside. You have to keep this in mind. This is a very important point. Whenever the field lines, in the previous video also I have told you, field lines are passing from inside to outside, that flux will be the positive quantity. Now let us see the second case. In second case, what we are noticing, this is the second case. If we will look for the enlarged figure, again let us suppose the electric field is pointing along the x-axis, electric field vector, and if we will draw one perpendicular, this is one y-axis. So here what we are noticing, electric field vector is along the positive x-axis, and area vector, that is this dA2 area vector is pointing along the y-axis, although it is negative y-axis. Let us take negative y. So what we will notice is that the theta is the angle between the area vector and the electric field, and this comes out to be the 90 degree. So in such a situation, what we are observing is that the electric field lines just graze the surface. So here what we are having, the electric field lines are not crossing, they are grazing the surface, over the surface, they are passing over through the surface like that. Is it clear? So for angle theta equals to, so in this situation, whenever they just graze the surface, theta becomes 90 degree, and we will, if we will put this in the formula, again the same formula, E dot of dA, and on expanding, what we will get, the formula comes out to be the E dA of cos 90 degree, and cos 90 degree is 0, so none electric flux will be associated, that is flux associated will be 0 in such a situation when the field lines just graze the surface or theta becomes 90 degree. Here one thing you have to keep this in mind, by carefully observing the figure, the area is held parallel to the field line, but area vector is at 90 degree. This situation very clearly I have explained in my previous video. If area is parallel to the field line, the area vector will become perpendicular to the field line and flux associated will become 0. Next, let us see the case number 3. In case number 3, that is this figure. That is at the area element 3, if we will notice, what we will notice, the electric field lines are moving from outside towards the inside. This is the key point. Here what we are having, what we are noticing, the field lines are crossing the surface from outside to inside. And in my previous video also I have already told you, whenever the field lines are passing from outside to inside, that flux, that type of the field lines will contribute towards the negative flux. Let us see how this it is happening, how it is possible. Again, let us have a closer look of this area. Again, this, let us suppose if electric field is along the positive x-axis, if it is pointing along the x-axis, the area vector is pointing, if we will, I will draw some, it is like that much. So this time the area vector, that is this delta E3, will be pointing along, this is the y-axis, and this time it is the z-axis. It is pointing along the YZ plane. So it is pointing in the YZ plane. So we know that this time the angle theta, which is the angle between the electric field vector and the area vector, becomes obtuse angle. It is an obtuse angle. That means that the value of theta will be lying somewhere between 90 to 180 degree. This is the important key point. So whenever the field lines are entering the surface, that is from outside to inside they are traveling. So in such a situation, if we will go for the flux formula, that again becomes E dot A. That is, this time if we will be having EA of cos theta, and for the obtuse angle theta, that is for the values of theta between 90 to 180 degree, its value is always negative. That is, the flux associated will become negative. So whenever theta lies between 180 to 90 degree, the flux associated will be negative. This is an important key point. In this situation, the field lines are crossing from outside to inside. In the area number 1, the field lines are passing from inside to outside, that is to be kept in mind. And for the area element second figure, they are just grazing the surface, that is they are just crossing the surface. So they are the different situations for which we have to deal with. Next, we have the problem solving strategies. Let us see how we can solve the problems involving the flux. So wherever flux will be up. So let us see what is the first situation. A constant electric field of magnitude E naught. Here it is given as E naught. This is an arbitrary value, no fixed value magnitude is given. So we have to deal with only the value as E naught. Points in the direction of the positive z-axis. So what is our first strategy is to look at the figure very carefully, and we have to find the electric flux. We have to find the electric flux. That means in order to know the electric flux, we must know the direction of electric field and the direction of the area vector. This is the two important key points. We have to keep in mind electric field. So according to our figure, here the electric field is E naught and its direction is along the positive z-axis. So this is to be fixed, taken to be as a fixed. That is our first strategy. Next, we have an area, rectangle of sides A and B, which is lying in the XY plane. So our first situation is for the XY plane. So here what we are finding, so this area element AB is lying in the XY plane. So what we are noticing, area is lying in the XY plane. This is again important key point. Area is lying in the XY plane, and if we will draw area vector that is perpendicular to this given XY plane, the area vector will be pointing along the, this time it will be pointing along the Z-axis. This is along the z-axis. So here what we are noticing, this is the area vector and this is the electric field vector. That is, angle between the area vector and the electric field vector, it becomes 0 degree. That is, they are parallel to each other. Two things again you have to keep in mind. Here electric field is along z-axis, area is along the xy plane, and area vector is along the z-axis, so angle becomes 0 degree. So now in solving, so again we have to apply the definition of the flux. So on applying the definition of the flux, what we will get, the flux is E naught dA. So here if we will solve it, flux becomes E naught dot product of area vector and dot product, this time it will open, we will get E naught A of cos 0 degree. And we know that the value of cos 0 degree is 1. So it becomes E naught. What is the area? Area is the A into B, that is length into breadth. So this is the value of the flux that we will get for the plane which is lying in the XY plane. So this is the given area, it is lying in the XY plane. So this one will be the flux associated for the first answer, that is when the area lies in the XY plane. Now let us see for the second situation. And that is when the area lies in the XZ plane. Let us depict the situation. For that we have to assume this is the area which is lying in this XZ plane. So this one will be the area which is lying in the XZ plane. So for this area element also, the electric field is pointing along the Z-axis. So for the second situation, now let us see for the second situation also what we are having. The electric field vector is pointing along the Z-axis. This time the area we have taken along the XZ plane. Keeping this in mind, here they have said that the rectangle is lying in the XZ plane. So here it is lying in the XZ plane. So what will be the area vector in this situation? Area vector has to be perpendicular to the given area plane, planar area. So the axis perpendicular to XZ plane will become out to be the Y-axis. So this time area vector will be pointing along the y-axis, and this is the electric field vector. So here what we are noticing, electric field is along z-axis, area vector is along y-axis. Again the angle between them, electric field and area vector, we have to find it out. That is the third strategy in solving. First, we have looked for the direction of electric field vector. We have checked the direction of area vector. Now we have to go for the angle between them, and this time angle between them comes out to be the 90 degree. So if we will put in the equation, flux equation, that is E dot of area vector, this is, and if we will open up, we will get EA cos 90 degree, and cos 90 degree is 0. So in this situation, the flux comes out to be the 0 degree. So what we will notice is for the second type of the situation, here the direction of area vector is either along positive y-axis or towards the negative y-axis. So here if we have taken this is as the area vector, this is the area, so its area vector can, if we are dealing towards the right hand side, it will be the positive y-axis, and if we are dealing towards the left hand side, it will become minus y-axis. So both directions are possible. This is for the open planar area surface. I have told you two possible directions the area vector can point. Then either of the cases, the angle comes out to be the 90 degree. Therefore, the scalar product of electric field with area vector comes out to be the 0 degree, 0 giving us the 0 flux. So what is the significance of such type of questions? The relative directions of electric field and area can cause the flux through the area to be the 0. So it is not, the value of the flux is not always fixed. See here, the value of electric field is fixed, the value of area is fixed, but the value of flux depends on the relative orientation of area with respect to the electric field. In different orientations, the flux associated will be varying depending on the angle at which the area is to be kept with respect to the electric. Let us see another question. Here in this question we are having a uniform electric field of magnitude 10 Newton per Coulomb is directed along YZ plane. So here the direction already is fixed. This time not a particular axis, but this time the electric field is pointing in this YZ plane. It is in the YZ plane at 30 degree above the XY plane. So here, so it is making an angle of 30 degree. Now the plane is lying in the, here the plane is lying in the ZX plane. Here the plane is in the ZX plane. What is the electric flux through a plane surface of area? Area particular magnitude is given this time. Particular magnitude of the electric field is also given in this time. Previous question it was not there. And they are located in the XZ plane. So this time what we have to look for? Direction of electric field which is along the YZ plane. And this time we have to look for the area is kept in the XZ plane. So what we are having, its area vector will be pointing XZ plane. So area vector will be pointing along the y-axis. Area vector will be pointing along the normal vector. It will be pointing, and when points along the positive y direction. So these are the certain key points that you have to keep in mind. Direction of electric field, area in which it is placed, the plane in which the area is placed, and its corresponding area vector. Now it will be easier for you to find the angle, as the angle given is, that is between electric field and normal vector, it is already given as 30 degree. So now the only thing we have to put in the flux, that is flux comes out to be the again E dot A, that is equals to the E dot A product. This time the entire surface area element is divided into small area elements. So we have to calculate for a smaller, that is d phi is equals to the E dot dA. That is what we have to keep it. And if we keep on integrating the entire flux for the smaller area elements, we are going to get, so which formula we will be using? Using the surface integral of E dot normal vector and area, that is dA. That is for smaller area element, first we will compute, then for second, for third, like that number of area elements will be there. So we will compute the individual fluxes and then we will sum up. So they are nothing but this time what we have having that the magnitude of electric field and the area vector, they are fixed. This time what we are having, the magnitude. So now the angle between the electric field and normal vector is 30 degree. Therefore again using the open surface equation, what we will get, the flux is equals to the integration of E dot and dA. So that is EA cos theta. Now the only thing is left is to put the magnitude. This part I have already explained. So now putting the magnitude of electric field is 10. putting the magnitude of area as 6 meter square. This you have to keep in mind. They are already in the SI unit. They are following the SI system. So no need to change the magnitude. Let it be the same. And this time cos theta, we have to put cos 30 degrees simply. And on multiplying, we will get this as the answer. So this one will be the flux associated with the entire surface area S. So this is how for different orientations you can compute the magnitude of the flux. Now let us see another one important situation, flux through a cubical surface. Now this is generally being asked where we are having a cube which is placed in a space having its a three-dimensional figure, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. But in this figure what we are noticing, again we have to see the direction of electric field which is along the positive x-axis. This is the direction is fixed. Now the entire cube can be divided, can be assumed it is comprised of 6 faces. So here what we will divide the entire cube into 6 faces. So what first we will take 2 faces. First is the upper face and the down face. So first we will look for the upper face and another one is the down face. So for the upper face, if we will be dealing, its area vector will be pointing along the positive y-axis. So you have to again keep this in mind, direction of the area. Again for the down face, for the downward face, that is A4, this is the DA4 it is represented. So it will be pointing along the minus y-axis, negative y-axis. So upper face is positive, downward face is negative y-axis, and direction of electric field is fixed, that is along the x-axis. So again the angle between the electric field and the area vector comes out to be the 90 degree. Angle between x and y-axis is 90 degree. So the flux associated with the topmost and the bottom face, top and bottom face will become equals to the 0. This is what we have to look for it. So here what we find is that field lines passing through the top and bottom surface which are pointing along the positive and negative y-axis are perpendicular to the faces and hence flux through these will be the 0. So here area vector, top face and bottom face make an angle of 90 degree with the electric field. So the flux associated with these two figures will be the 0. Now next let us take this is the front portion and we have to take another is the back portion. So again let us take next 2 faces. First is the front portion and another one we have to take as the back portion. Now let us see what will be the area vector for the front portion. Here we are noticing the front portion, its area vector will be pointing along the positive z-axis. And for the back portion, similarly, if we will go for this direction, it will be pointing along the negative x-axis. So these again are the direction associated with the area planar area, planar faces, positive z-axis and negative z-axis for the front and the back portion. Again, what we notice, the angle between electric field and area vector becomes 90 degree. So the flux associated with this front portion and the back portion again becomes 0. So what is our next conclusion for the other 2 surfaces? Here what we find is the field lines passing through the front and back surface which are pointing along the positive and negative z-axis are perpendicular to the faces and hence flux contributing will become equals to the 0. Now with 4 faces we have dealt with. Now the last 2 faces are, this is suppose the right face and the other one is back portion, it is the left face. Now let us see another last left 2 faces. First is the right face. So the area vector of the right face which is represented by DA2, it is pointing along the positive x-axis. Here it is pointing along the positive x-axis. Similarly, the face which is to left of the cubical face, here the area vector will be pointing along the negative x-axis. And here the electric field itself is pointing along the x-axis. Here electric field is also along the x-axis and area vectors are along along x-axis. So let us see what will be the flux associated with the right face. We have to write as the phi r. It will become E dot A, that is equals to E dot A of this time the cos 0 degree. And the cos 0 degree is a certain positive value, and similarly what will be the flux associated with the left face? It will be the EA cos, this time it will be the 180 degree because electric field is along the positive x-axis and the area vector is along the negative x-axis. So the angle between electric field and area vector for the left surface becomes cos 180 degree which gives us minus of EA, and here we will get plus of EA. So again if we will add them, we are going to get the net flux coming out to be the 0. That is what we are having field lines passing through the right and left surface, which are pointing along positive and negative x-axis. They are parallel to the faces, and through the flux through them, that is flux associated with the right phase will be the plus EL square, and flux associated with the left phase will be the minus of EL square. On adding them again, what we will notice is that net flux through the tube becomes 0. So whenever